So it's 3 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and get started. First thing I'll do is put on my hat so that some people will recognize me from that. And this is because I have I'm Michael Mercil, I'm from the Department of Art, and one of the projects I'm involved with here on campus is called Reading the Daily News. And 365 times, although not consecutively, I am reading the Columbus Dispatch out on the Oval. I've only been out there once so far this spring, although over the past 3 years I've done it 45 times, usually in the spring and fall when the weather is warmer. And usually I am wearing this. And one of the things the staff event card seems to help out with is I'm rarely stopped and asked what am I doing by the security people on the Oval, because the presumption is I'm there officially. And I am there officially as part of the Living Culture Initiative in the Department of Art. And another of the projects I'm involved with for that, I wanted to invite you to go ahead and take at the Wexner Center, facing the Oval in that little space as you cross over, is something called the Virtual Pasture. And that's a project I started a couple years ago, kind of reimagining the original land-grant mission of the university. And so relative to that, I have postcards for everyone. Feel free to take them as you leave. This postcard, Sheep's in the Meadow. On the other side it says First Mondays, and that's because on the first Monday of every month, for example, last Monday, I bring my flock of sheep in from Delaware, Ohio, where they're being raised, here to graze the pasture at the Wexner Center. And I have, as of now, at the moment, I have one new lamb, and by next June I'll have 2 new lambs. And they're making one more visit in May on Thursday the 27th. The Wexner Center is opening a farmer's market, which they'll run through the summer every Wednesday from 4 to 7. And so that first May 27th grand opening, I'll have the sheep in the pasture then. But if you take one of these and just stick this on your refrigerator, you'll remember that on the first Monday of each month, sheep's in the meadow. And I also have posters for that project. And since this Sunday is Mother's Day, you may want to take a couple and send one to your mother. And if they use a bad time, you can give it to her and say, thinking of you.
Michael, are they going to be there from 4 to 7?
They will be there a little before 4. I'm thinking on that Thursday. Usually they're here from 10 till around 10 o'clock till around 3, more like 10:30 to 3:30. That's Thursday. They will probably be coming in around 1, and they'll be here till at least 7 o'clock.
Okay, cool.
And what I decided to read today is somewhat related to the Virtual Pasture project. I thought I might throw together what I'm calling a New Farmer's Almanac. Among my favorite readings for many, many years, even before I started these projects, have been farm manuals and farm almanacs and these kind of interesting mixes of practical advice and moral advice. And so I'll just get started with really one of the earliest. I thought I would read some selections from Virgil's Georgics. This is a new translation by a British poet who is also a farmer named Peter Fallon. And it was written originally around the time of Julius Caesar, about 50 BC. I'll start with the introduction. I'll just kind of keep talking as I read this stuff. So this is in many ways the first, or perhaps the most well-known early farmer's manual. What tickles the corn to laugh out loud? And by what star to steer the plow, and how to train the vine to elms, good management of flocks and herds, the expertise bees need to thrive. My lord Maecenas, such are the makings of the song I take upon myself to sing. Sirs of sky, grand marshals of the firmament, O Liber of fertility and Ceres, our sustaining queen, by your kind-heartedness, earth traded acorns of Epirus for ample ears of corn, and laced spring water with new wine. And you, O fawns, presiding lights of farming folk, come dance, O fawns and maiden dryads, your gifts I celebrate as well. And you, Neptune, whose trident's booming tap on rock first fanfared to bring forth a snorting horse. And you, patron of shady woods, whose many hundred head of cattle fatten pristine in the chaparral of Ceos. And you too, Pan, abandoning your native groves and glades of Lycaeus, caretaker of the flocks. If Maenalus means anything at all to you, come to me, O god of Tegea, a friend and comforter. And you, Minerva, who first discovered olives, and that youth too, creator of the crooked plow, Sylvanus, too, who carries on his back a sturdy cypress ripped up from the roots. A god or goddess, each of you, whose care and concern is for land, who nurtures crops not grown from seed, and who dispatches unto plantings heavy showers from the heavens. And I address you too, O Caesar, although none knows the gathering of gods in which you soon will be accommodated, or whether you would choose to oversee the city or be in charge of countryside, nor knows if the wide world will come to honor you as begetter of the harvest or as master of the seasons. Around your brow already a garland of your mother's myrtle, or whether you will come as lord of endless sea, and seafarers will worship you, your power alone, and the ends of earth bow to you in homage, and Tethys forfeits all her waves to you, to have you as a son-in-law. Or whether you will add a new star to the zodiac to quicken months, where there's a lull between Virgo and Libra, which comes after it. Already ardent Scorpio contracts its claws for you, and allots to you more than your fair share of the sky. Whatever you will be, let not the netherworld of Tartarus hope to have you as its king, nor ever such a dread ambition lord over you, however much Greece knows and wonders of Elysian fields, and Proserpina pays her mother little heed, although she hears her calling her. Grant me an easy course, and bless the boldness of this undertaking, who shares my sympathy for countrymen whose lives are wanderings in the dark. Look forward now, expert already in the ways to answer our entreaties. And a little later, this is more Virgil. Listen, here's how you'll tell the sort of soil you're dealing with. If it's a compact one, you need, or one more porous, one's good for corn, one for vines. Dedicate the denser one to Ceres, the looser one to Bacchus. Trust your eyes to be the judge, and order that a hole be dug deep in the ground. Then backfill all the earth and trample flat. A shortfall? It's a light soil, fit for herds and flocks or healthy vines. A surplus? Leftover land when you've refilled the trench? Then you have heavy land on hand. All that's in store is sods and clods and awkward ridges. Prepare to break that ground with sturdy oxen. As for that land that brings tears to the eyes, bitter land, as locals say, inhospitable to harvest, that no amount of plowing sweetens, here's how you'll recognize it. Reach to your reeky rafters and take down the thickly woven baskets and wicker colanders for wine. With fresh well water, mix in that offending earth and pack it to the brim. As you'd expect, the moisture dribbles through in heavy drops. The tip of the tongue of anyone who takes on to try it will tell the tale. His turned-up mouth squirming to the taste, and so, in short, a richer soil is tested too. Toss it from hand to hand, and it won't crack or crumble. No, it clings to fingers just like pitch. Soggy soil gives massive growth, more than's natural. Preserve me from such profusions or such excess when new shoots show. Whether soil is light or heavy, you'll know without a word. A glance will tell black earth, or whatever color it turns out to be. It's harder far to figure out earth that's cursed to be cold, though now and then giant pines, poisonous yews, and dark climbs of ivy give clue. Keep all this in mind. Let moisture burn off from the ground, divide the uplands into trenches, turn over any clods of earth to face winds from the north, all this before you set your sprigs of vine. A crumbly soil is best of all, broken down by grace of frosts and freezing winds, and the ongoing toil of diggers who have worked the plot, perch by perch and rood by rood. But those whose eyes watch everything miss nothing. Begin by searching out 2 soils that are the same in which to start your seedlings, in order that when, by and by, you transplant them, they won't feel any difference from what surrounds their mother tree. And here's a little section on chores. The farmer's chores come round in seasons and cycles as the earth each year retraces its own tracks. And even while the yard relinquishes the last lingering leaves and a northerly divests wood of their panache, the keen countryman is turning thoughts to the year ahead and all that's to be done in it. With his curved blade, he'll prune each branch and shape it to his own design. Then, as soon as possible, he'll rake the bed, set fire to his cuttings, bring under cover vine supports, and then, as late can be, he'll draw the harvest home. Time and again, year on year, vines bow beneath a cloud and sink into the grip of undergrowth, ever more to do. So, cast a hungry eye on a big estate if you're inclined, but tend a small one. What's more, you'll find throughout the woods rough sprigs of butcher's broom, and all along the river banks needs needing to be trimmed, and elsewhere willows crying out for your attention that will keep you on the go. Say grape branches are bound up, orchards finished with the pruning hook, the vine dresser furthest down the row starts to sing of work well done. You've still got to hoe the earth, to scuff and shuffle the light soil, and keep a weather watch on the clusters as they ripen. Of course, the next is one of my favorite sections. First and foremost, I recommend you feed your sheep in comfort under roofs, until, in its due course, summer sings again. All leaves and spread armfuls of straws and ferns beneath them, so neither chills nor colds afflict your tender care, and bring on scab or foot rot, horrors you cannot bear to see. Moving on, I know the nanny needs a full surplus of arbutus and other bushes still in leaf, full access to free-flowing streams, and a stall whose back abuts the wind, but which can take advantage of sun's highest heat in wintertime, when cold Aquarius is waning, and sprinkles dew on a departing year. If we tend these as carefully as sheep, equal good will come of them, despite the high prices of Milesian wool, and wool dyed with Tyrian reds will fetch. For they give a greater yield of both young and milk. However full froth fills your pail, once you've stripped their udders, you'll find another flow if you pull on their spins again. And that's not all. Some shave the smigs off their grisly chins, and shear the bristling hair off bucks from sinnips, for use by troops, and as loose coverlets for sad and sorry men at sea.